Hi everybody, it's Tommy Jo from Bird Street Studio, and I'm here to do Roxy's Weekly Challenge 2025, week 35, and Rachel calls it Scrapbusting Snippets for Journals. So, you know, it sounds like it should be pretty easy. Use your scraps, your scrap busting, make snippets. We all make snippets or clusters or whatever. If anybody knows how to make something difficult out of something simple, it's this girl right here. So, let me show you where I'm at. I originally thought, well, I'll make one and then I will come on and do my video. So this is the one I started to make. But what I did was I got some Happy Mail, which if you watched Sunday's video, you saw it. And it had a whole bunch of craft paper in it. In the top, there were pieces crumpled up. And so what I did with those is I had one long piece. I cut that or tore that piece into 1.5 inch strips, and I thought, oh, I'll use those. So then I got my scraps out. Now my scraps are all really bright. What I have in scraps at this moment are very bright things. And if the point was scrap busting, I didn't really want to get too much into getting new book page or something out. I wanted to try to use up what I had. Now, what Rachel did is she added paper scraps to fabric scraps. So then I got thinking, what do my fabric scraps look like? Well, I keep my fabric scraps in a baggie like this. Well, I dumped them all out and I separated them by color. So you'll see that I have kind of pinks, burgundies, and that. This is a blue one that I used scraps here. These are kind of neutral colored scraps, pretty neutral. Then I had some greens that I have in a pile right here that I might put right up here. This is the blue pile that I already pretty much used. Then I had this one pile that had a couple purple things in it. I have this real small pile too that has like yellows, gold, and other colors, but basically yellows and golds, orange, that kind of thing. And I had this little itty bitty teeny pile, which I may not even use because it's got a couple of black scraps and some ribbons. So I'm not sure. So I got looking at those thinking, well, why don't I go ahead and do a snippet roll by color? So I can just put blue papers on here, blue, green, and then add those colors, add a couple neutrals, and we got a snippet roll, right? Then you need to probably do some sort of focal points. So I could put focal points on these, but what I thought we would do is just go ahead and do a couple colored strips like this. So what I wanted to do is I went ahead and glued all the papers onto here. The fabric's not on there, but the papers are all glued like a snippet roll. And then I just added the fabric. So I'm going to put these back in my blue pile. Okay, up here in my blue pile, which you can't barely see. And I'm going to do another snippet roll here. I'm going to do another strip with either green or pink because I have them, or neutral maybe, because I have the most scraps in those colors. So I wanted to go ahead and get my papers. You're going to see my papers are bright, bright, bright colors. So looking at them, I have some pinks here. I'm going to go ahead and pull out some papers that'll match. Well, that's a big scrap. That's not a small one. Do have a piece of red. I'm going to move this strip that we already did, and I'm going to dump my scraps here, sort of. I'm looking specifically for pink right now. There's pink. You know, we could do green too, huh? Make piles. Let's do a green pile. There's green. That could be green. That could be green. That could be green. I'm just looking for purples and greens. Oh, look at there. Green. Purples and greens. I mean pink and greens. So I'm going to go ahead and sort through these first, and then I will come back and we will try to put together our paper strips first. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got two piles here, kind of a pink pile and a green pile. So I think I'm going to put my pink pile aside. We're going to work on our green pile. And I want to, oh look, this is half green and half pink. I want to be clear that Rachel did not separate her colors at all. So this is just my little twist on it. So I'm going to put these aside as well. So I've got a piece of paper and I want to start with green pieces. So let's see what we have. A lot of this, whatever this is. So let's make some rough edges on here. And I'm going to try and stay in camera. The last video I did, I think I was off camera most of the time I was doing something. And I'm going to, in camera, I'm going to use my glue stick. And I'm just putting it up high enough where I can kind of cover up the top. Okay, and then maybe we'll use this one to cover up this little edge. I think that would be good. And then this piece, what I'm not crazy over is this flat side. I don't know if I can use my tear ruler and make it rough, a rough edge like I would like, sort of a rough edge like that, maybe. Remember, when I separated colors, I separated by just basics. And my hint for if you don't know what color pile something should go in, squint your eyes. If you squint your eyes, you usually will see the predominant tone and put it in that pile. I think I want this to go this way there, so I can kind of cover up the straight edge there. And then not sure where I want this piece to go, but it's going to go right there, I think. Something like this. And then we need a piece to fill right here. I'm trying to use little pieces that I have in my scrap box that will fill in areas. Oh, here's a piece. Oh, I think that would go good there. The cool thing about this is I really am finding that if I do true scrap busting, excuse me, then I find that I am getting my scraps down to a minimum. but you have to be true to it. And sometimes for me, in my mind, the best way to do that is to separate things by color. I don't know why. It's just how my mind works. Then I think I'm going to just repeat this one right here. And you could use washi tape if you have some washi tapes that are not real sticky anymore. It's a good way to use up your washi tapes like scraps. So how's everybody today? I talked to my grandson this morning from Japan. He messaged me about 10 and said, "Are you awake and available?" So we do a video. We do Messenger because that's free video chat. And he was just working through some things over there in Japan. He's contracted over there by what they call JET. It's a company that does English as a second language. They hire teachers for that. So he's under contract. And I think it goes from August to July, that kind of schedule. And he's been there a year and a half. So, and his wife's over here, and luckily she lives over on the west coast right now of Florida. When she came back from Japan, she was only over there for a few months and found it very difficult to live over there for herself because she is a tattoo artist, and in the little community that they live in where he teaches, you know, they're not real thrilled with people that are covered in tattoos. And of course, as an artist, she is covered in tattoos. So she found that a little difficult. And she went over there with no job or anything and doesn't speak the language. So she really found it hard. And ended up coming home and did really well. She got back into companies where she could tattoo, and I'm looking for pieces, sorry, where she can tattoo. So she's been tattooing, and actually she enrolled in school. So she's working on her college education and has done very well. But she's going to move. Her mom moved from, she was living at her mom's over in Ocala, and then her mother ended up about 3 months later, after she came back, 4 months maybe, around there, ended up selling her home, and her husband moved over to the coast that I'm on and bought a really nice home here. So my granddaughter-in-law, had to get an apartment with somebody she worked with, I think is what she ended up doing. Is moving in with them for a while, and then she enrolled at school and was doing that. So it's very hard for them. They're just doing a long distance relationship, and it's very difficult. And so they're trying to just figure things out. So it was nice to catch up with them. So anyways, my grandson called and we talked through some stuff, and then she messaged me and says, "Can I talk?" So I think they were talking this morning, and both of them needed to bounce some stuff off me, I guess. They know that I'm going to be honest, and that I have more, at my age, I think I have developed more of a logical mind, and I'm not emotional as much as I was when I was much younger. So, just looking to see if I have any other small pieces that we could use up. So anyways, I was able to talk to my grandson and then talk to my granddaughter. So that was, I had a really nice, pretty nice morning. Look at that. It's all like green colors. I love it. Then I thought I better get this video done, because what I do is I wait for Rachel to put up her video on Friday. It usually comes out Friday. Sometimes it's Saturday, so I don't know. And I like to do it for my Tuesday videos. So that means I am creating a video over the weekend. And I know that a lot of people don't edit their videos. Oh my goodness. If I didn't edit, I'd be in big trouble, because I have noisy puppies who bark at everything that comes to my front door. And just a lot goes on here in my home that makes noise, and just would not be good. So I do edit my videos. And sometimes it takes me longer to do things than other people, so editing in that respect works out well, because then I can just cut things out if it takes me a long time to make a decision or something like that. I think you guys all know that I do that, right? Okay, so we're going to put this right here, and then one other little piece I'll find to put on the bottom. I need a piece to cover right there. Okay, that's good. It took care of a lot of small scraps. Okay, so there's a green strip. So now we have a blue strip and a green strip, sort of. Look at how much taller that is. So is that a longer? Oh yeah, it's a longer piece of craft. Okay, so we have a blue and a green, and we want to do a pink as well. So I'm going to move my blue or my green scraps back into my scrap bag, and we will pull out or bring back over my pink scraps, which I didn't have a lot of. So what I have are bigger pieces. So let's see what we can do with these. Anyway, so yeah, I do edit my videos because I have a lot that goes on in my house. And I was just talking to when I was talking to my granddaughter, I was telling her, and I was emailing somebody this morning saying that I'm starting to get my craft room back in order. And so a couple of years ago, before I did any renovations in this house, which needed a lot and still needs a lot, I started to do like a video tour, because I love to watch people's video tour or craft room tours or whatever, because I can see where they craft. And I love those. And I thought, oh, I should do one, because I think somebody asked me, actually, I'd like to see the space where you craft. Well, it has changed throughout the years that I've lived in this house. Originally, when I moved in, this was a flip house, and they had flipped the carport and made a room so that they could call it a bedroom and put a closet in there. It wasn't even air conditioned, but they were able to call it a third bedroom. Anyways, so I bought a room air conditioner, and I would do mixed media classes out there. Then when Kurt came to stay with me, when he retired in Utah and came to stay with me, I made his room, I made that his room. So we had to, so we closed, and we did a lot of remodeling. I also needed new air conditioning at the time, a new AC unit, so that worked out kind of well that we did that as well. So we actually took that room, we divided it, made it a bedroom, added extra closets, took out the old closet that they thought was a closet that made it a bedroom, made a little hallway, and then made my laundry room nicer, which still after a couple of years I have not painted yet. Don't tell anybody. So it's still plaster in there. But anyways, as the house was getting renovated, I have changed my crafting area. So I'm trying to think of what I did after that. I can't remember. But anyways, I now have turned this studio is off my bedroom. It was originally my walk-in closet, but instead, what they had done is they added a area all across the back of this house, and they made a walk-in closet here, which meant they took the old closet and just opened it totally up, so it was like a little indented area, and I had my computer desk and everything in there. Well, I had the remodelers make that back into a closet. I'm going to turn this over and start working down. And so then this walk-in closet, I took all the pulls and shelving and all that out, and it has become my studio, which means it is extremely small. Anyways, it was just a couple tables, some steel shelving that I had moved into here. And so now I've bought Kallax units, and I've added those. I bought a IKEA bookcase that's right outside this room, again, which would be my bedroom, and it's right against the wall right outside this room. And I put all of my journals that go up on Etsy, and my personal journals, and like my Bible journals and all of that. I put all of that in there, and it's so cool. I'm going to put this in my scrap. What do we have? Put this. So it's really nice because in the Kallax units, my journals were taking up a couple of the cubbies in my Kallax unit. So I moved those out there. And I'm getting ready. I've got almost everything back in here. I moved the steel shelving into my guest bedroom just so I could get things off of it when I needed to put things back in this room. And I have one thing I'm going to change, I think. My Copic markers are like right over there, diagonal. And I would like those right in front of me because I color here as well. Do illustrations in color here. And I would like to move them. Not sure how I want to arrange that. But I would like to move them. And I thought that's the last thing that I think I need to, look at this one, that I need to do. And then I can put, over that way, I can put where my shipping stuff goes. Like when I sell something and I have to ship it out, I have all my packing, my tape, my shipping. And also when I make journals, I save all my packaging from Amazon or otherwise, and I keep all that to make journal covers. So I have all that to put in this room. And I think I'm going to be able to do that if I can move these Copics over and get this under control. So once I do that, I'm going to try to do a, craft room tour. How big is it? I mean, I have to stand at the door and I can show you the whole room. People like walk around their rooms and they show you all this beautiful furniture, IKEA or otherwise, antique furniture that they have. And it just cracks me up because my room is so small. Literally, I can turn my chair around and reach what's right behind me. And that's it. That's the wall. I mean, there's shelving, but it's the wall, pretty much. So it kind of makes me laugh when I watch other videos. Okay, let's maybe put that there. We're almost done with the pink one, and then we will decorate them. The three will have green, pink, and blue. Oh, look, we have this color. Anyways, I thought I'd do a little tour just to show you. People keep asking me, I'd like to see where you craft, And I know how much I enjoy seeing where other people craft. It's funny because then you watch their videos and it's almost like you can picture them in their room crafting. It's kind of cool, I think. But then that's the nosy side of me that loves that kind of stuff. Okay, look, I have a little piece of pink lined paper. Let's use that. Anyways, I thought I would try to combine that video from years ago, 2 years ago or something, with what my studio is now and kind of explain the transition. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but if you would, let me know. Oh, we're doing well. We're doing well. Got some pieces here I'd like to use up. I'm going to put it over here on my glue book so I can, it's a bigger piece, so. I'll put that right down on the bottom. Then I've got a couple of just small areas right here that I think I can use a couple of these pieces for. This is really red, but I think it'll work. Okay, so I'm going to put these scraps back in my scrap bag. And I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Okay, and my thought is that I will decorate these and then sew them. I think Rachel decided not to sew hers, but I think I'm going to sew mine just to hold them on. So I'm just going to use a little dot of glue. So just because they're here, let's start with the pink. And she used a combination of fabrics and neutral type things. And I'm going to obviously just try to pick some of the smaller pieces that I have and try to use those up. Look at this one. It's got kind of a gold, if you can see that. It's got metallic thread. Kind of cool. Well, here's a couple pieces of ribbon. And you just kind of sporadically put pieces on there that you think would kind of go. I don't think I want that ribbon on there if I have ribbon in another place. However, I love this color. It's like a satiny fabric. Okay, so there's some fabric there. And I don't want to be getting into changing my mind, so I'm going to just use a little Fabri-Tac. And put a dab on each one. Just to hold it so I can sew it. Okay, so I'm thinking that's all for the fabric. So I'll put that aside for the pink. Now we'll do the greens. Okay, so we've got that on the green. Looks pretty cool. Now let's do the blue one. Like I said, Rachel didn't do hers by color, so this is all on me. So I'm going to take the greens and move them aside and bring out my blues. Then I thought we would take some of these cream colored fabrics and put those and maybe work some lace in here and lay some of the cream colored on top. Am I in camera with the pink? Yes. Oh, here's got blue and pink. That might be kind of cute. Okay, I'm liking this, so I'm going to go ahead and tack this down. And like I said, I'm just kind of trying not to put too much thought in it, which is hard for me, but I think I want another piece on here, right here. I have this little small piece of cotton I think would look really good there. And I am not going to put focal points on these. I'm just going to go ahead and sew them. And then as I use them on in a journal or something, I will then apply focal points. But you see what I have here is I have this that's got blue on it. And I think I want to split this up and use this on the blue piece because it's got cream and blue. I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to clean my glue tip off with that. How's that? A lot of strings hanging off here. Okay, so make sure I've got all, oh my gosh, these strings are like sticking to my fingers. Make sure I have these all down. Okay, and these are all down. So let's do the green one. Add some kind of creamy color to the green one. Okay, so that means we're down to one piece of blue. We like that. Okay, so the green one, we could put maybe something like that down here. Are we on camera? I hope so. There. And maybe right here. And this is a tiny piece of lace we could put right here. That lace is actually off my mom's wedding dress. It's a tiny, tiny piece. Like I said, I'm just looking for little tiny pieces to use. Oh, jeez. Doesn't tear very easy. No wonder I got strings all over. Okay, so we've got some cream kind of colored on there. Now I want to just see if I can pull out any kind of lace, put a little tiny bit of lace on them. So I'm going to go and put my fabric scraps away and pull out some lace, and I'll be right back. Okay, I came back and I've got a few different pieces of lace that I thought we could maybe put on there. Got a piece of white. Have a piece of cream. And we have some more of this, my mom's wedding fabric. I think would really look pretty on here. Because we've got a piece right here. I think I'll put a piece right down here. And maybe a piece up here. I'm not sure how these snippets will get cut, but I think that would be kind of cool. So let's get those on. Remember, I'm going to sew right down the middle of this, so. Okay, so I think the green one, I'm just going to leave like that for now. And I think I have, I have black thread in my machine, so I'm going to have to go and put white thread or cream colored thread in my machine. White there. Got a little piece of cream right here. Put a little piece of white right here. And I think we need something up there. I'm going to put a piece of this cream. Okay, I think those look great. This looks pretty good, but I think I want to add a little more. Maybe I don't want necessarily that. How about go like that? When you have an odd piece of fabric, sometimes you need to put your glue on the fabric instead of on the snippet roll. And then I have glue all over my hands. Look at this. So, of course, I'm sticking everything that's sticking to me. And I think I want something right here. So let's go put that one there. Okay, I think we got them. And I think Rachel showed you on her video how she'll connect hers, but again, hers aren't like colored like mine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and change the thread in my machine, and I'm going to sew down these, and then we'll come back and we'll see how they look. Okay, I'm back and we got all the stitching done. I just did a zigzag stitch down the center. I'm going to cut these threads off. You don't have to cut them off if you like threads, which I love threads. But if I have to store these, I don't want a lot of threads. So basically, I just did a zigzag stitch right down the center of all of them. Like that. And again, I'm not going to put any kind of focal point on these yet until I decide where they're going to go. But I'll be honest with you, after they're all said and done, I love that we color coordinated them. I don't know, just my thing, I think. Anyways, I wanted to thank everybody for watching. Please hop over to Rachel's channel. It's called Roxy Creations. She does her Roxy's Weekly Challenge. Usually they come out on Friday, and see her, how she did hers. They're pretty much different than these, but same idea. So I'm so glad I got rid of a lot of scraps. So it was great. Thank you to all my subscribers, past, present, and future. If you just tuned in and you would like to subscribe, we'd really love to have you on the channel. Please like, give us a comment, and let me know what you think about me doing possibly a craft room tour. I'd like to hear it. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.